All right, good evening, everyone. We'll bring this virtual committee of the whole meeting for the city of North College Hill to order. We'll start, as we always do, with our prayer. God our Father, we are all your servants. We trust in your mercy and love. We trust also in your guidance. Direct the meetings of this council of North College Hill to make good decisions for all the people who live in our city. Give all the members of this council wisdom and insight to know what is best for our city. Help us to be fair and just in all our decisions. Bless us all to do the very best we can. With your help and guidance, we pray this in your name. Amen. Let me get my flag up and we'll do our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Good evening, everyone. I will call the roll. Ms. Bailey?
Here.
Ms. Underwood?
Here.
Mr. Miller-Novak? Ms. Zorb?
Here.
Ms. Hartman?
Here.
Ms. Anderson?
Here.
Okay, at this time, everyone is present, but Mr. Miller-Novak. You should have tonight's agenda.
I'll make a motion to accept the agenda.
Mr. President, I will second that.
All right, motion from Ms. Zorb. Second from Ms. Bailey to adopt tonight's agenda. Any discussion? I hear none. I'll call the roll. Ms. Bailey?
Yes.
Ms. Underwood?
Yes.
Mr. Miller? Ms. Zorb?
Yes.
Ms. Hartman?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0. All right, to the agenda. The purpose of this meeting is to discuss an executive session under ORC 121.22, the appointment and compensation of an employee, ORC 121.22G, conducting or reviewing negotiations or bargaining sessions with public employees concerning their compensation or other terms and conditions of their employment. Also to discuss the 2021 North College Hill City budget and to establish salaries and staffing levels for city employees. So I believe we need a motion to go to executive session.
I move that we move to executive session. But, Mr. President, sorry. Right quick, do we have another link for executive session?
Not at this time because I didn't know who to send it to.
So yeah, who's going into executive session?
By the way, I did just forward it to council only.
Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood?
I believe that everybody should go into executive session.
Mr. President,
Ms. Bailey?
I would ask that everybody does go into executive session, and then maybe if the rest of council would like to, we will excuse the administration and follow up. Is that cool?
Okay, so the motion is to move to executive session with all attendees, and if necessary, we will excuse the administration. That's your motion?
That's my motion.
Mr. President, I'll second that motion.
Thank you, Ms. Anderson. All right, any discussion?
Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood?
are we actually discussing the budget in executive session? Or are we just, okay, so,
No, only the compensation piece.
okay. And I just want to make sure I understand that motion. Is that the salary ordinance that we've already, like, that's on the council agenda already?
No, this is one specific employee salary.
Okay. That's all I had. Thank you.
All right, I will call the roll. Ms. Bailey?
Yes.
Ms. Underwood?
Yes.
Ms. Zord?
Yes.
Ms. Hartman?
Yes.
Ms. Anderson?
Yes.
Okay, that motion passes 5-0. Ms. Underwood, would you, oh, Mr. Miller Novak is joining. I'm admitting him in now.
The link has now been sent to administration.
Okay. All right, let the minutes show that Matt Miller Novak has joined us. Just in time to go to executive session, sir.
Is that the other link, everyone? So I like get out and then.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
All right, we will go to executive session.
Hang on. I think I just sent the wrong link to administration. If they're still on here, they should expect another one. Sorry.
Did you get him the right one?
Still working that way. I don't type quite that fast. Hold on.
Okay.
It has now been sent.
All right, thank you.
Yes, thank you. Sorry about that.
You're right.
Ron, did you hear that you're getting a new link for executive session?
I did, but neither the mayor nor I have it yet.
Okay. It just popped up in my inbox, so it should be there shortly. And did you hear me say I sent the wrong one first? Look for the one with executive session in the subject line.
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you.
What, sweetie? Hold on.
Hey, Gigi,
Yeah.
Mike Graver just said he's having trouble with his computer. I don't know if you have to let him in or anything, but he said he's having trouble. I don't know if it's trouble getting to the meeting or trouble with his computer.
Okay. I don't see him yet.
All right. He might not be there yet. He may have rebooted. I don't know what he did.
Yeah, I thought I saw him for a second and then he disappeared.
Yeah.
Hold on. Ethel. Here he is. I'll make it.
Is everybody back?
Waiting on you, brother.
Yep. I think we're all
Uh-uh.
here.
Okay, I'm here. Sorry.
All right. I'll take down the graphic.
Thank you.
All right, we're back.
Mr. President,
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to make a motion that we give Matt Miller Novak the authority to negotiate with our law director his salary so that we can resolve this issue finally.
Mr. President, I'll second that motion.
Am I muted? No, I'm good. All right, quick point of order. Did we need to make a motion to reconvene?
Technically, we probably should do that first. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, Mike.
Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood?
I move that we reconvene our committee of the whole meeting from our executive session meeting.
Mr. President, I'll second that motion.
Motion from Ms. Underwood to reconvene the committee of the whole meeting from executive session with a second by Ms. Anderson. I'll call the roll. Ms. Bailey,
Yes.
Ms. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Miller Novak,
Yes.
Ms. Zorb,
Yes.
Ms. Hartman. Ms.
She is
Hartman is
not
not
back.
with us. No, she's not.
1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.
Ms. Anderson,
Yes.
I have a 5-0 here. Can we move forward with that?
Yes.
All right, so we're back. I sent her a text. She's responding. All right, then that would take us back to a motion to give Mr. Miller Novak authorization to negotiate law director. She says she thought she was back. All right, motion to give Mr. Miller Novak authorization to negotiate with the law director on salary. That motion was from Ms. Underwood. I believe the second was Ms. Anderson. Any discussion? I'll call the roll. Ms. Bailey,
Yes.
Ms. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Miller Novak,
Yes.
Ms. Zorb,
Yes.
Ms. Hartman, Ms. Anderson.
Yes.
All right, thank you. That passes as well. 5-0. All right, next item on the agenda was 2021 city budget discussion.
Awesome. So we typically go through this line item by line item, starting with the police. If we are going to do that, my suggestion is that we skip most of the salaries, police salaries, part-time, full-time, and leave those for the end of the conversation, just because there are so many negotiations and things up in the air that we're still not locked into yet. And so I would like to just skip those salaries for the time being until we have more of an understanding of what's going on there.
Mr. President, that sounds good to me. Excuse me, because I'm very new. How exactly should we go through this then?
So if it's cool with everybody, what we can do is we can start on the first, everybody's working off of the one that Ari sent last, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so all of mine, because my printer likes to play jokes on me, they're all of them are numbered number 1 on the bottom for me. So we're gonna go to police department general fund, and it is the actual line item budget, not the summary. So let's skip the summary, and then right after summary by activity level with the real blue and orange graph, that is very nice. We will start with the line item with police.
So to be clear, you're at the tab that says 101.101 police.
I believe that was where she directed us.
Yes, because I'm on a paper copy because I'm old, but probably.
Ms. Hartman is back with us, by the way.
Awesome. Working budget. Okay. Yep, here we go. So is everybody cool to skip the salaries for now? Because again, we're still up in the air with things. Yep.
Yep.
Cool. So budgeted.
We would skip the benefits as well then.
Yeah, we would actually, yeah, all of that
Come
fun
down
stuff.
to contractual services.
Yes.
Starting at 521251 ammunition police.
Yeah, sorry, I'm looking at uniform cost right quick, but yes.
I was stuck where you were, Miss Bailey.
Okay. So our uniform cost varies from 18 to 19. And then what do we have projected 2020? So do we have intentions on, I guess, hiring? I know the police chief isn't on here, but do we have intentions on hiring more people for 2021? Or did we not spend a lot because of COVID? Every penny counts in this city, so I'm just trying to figure out what the discrepancy's looking like there.
Does not appear to. Did Mr. Mosby come over?
You may want to ask Chief Strand about that. These are his numbers. Additionally, as you know, I am very short-staffed in my office. So projections will probably be updated in a few weeks. So the projections that are there now probably are not where we're going to end up at the end of the year.
But do you think that we're close? I mean, I'm like at least a little close.
I would have to
Lower,
go
higher?
through the numbers. I cannot say,
Okay.
At this time.
Okay.
Ms. Hall, I have a secondary question, and it kind of leads into the uniform costs and new hires. I know at one time it was mentioned that there are a couple officers that are at the level for retirement, and it was not actually stated if they plan to retire. I didn't know if we had any additional information with regards to those two individuals.
My understanding is that there is still an expectation that they're going to retire. There's no formal process yet, but my understanding is that at some point in 2021, between May and I want to say the fall, one or both are intending to retire.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have to say, Mr. President? I'm sorry.
Mm-mm.
I have a big picture kind of question. And this is not about what you guys were just talking about. I just kind of have a big picture kind of question. So Ms. Hall, you put this together based on like what amount of money that we are going to potentially have?
The revenue part of the budget is based on projections I've received from Rita, from the county auditor's office. So the appropriations portion of the budget, the department heads had a role in putting their budget together. I went behind them and tried to whittle it down to fit the revenue so that we would not be over appropriated.
So you basically have gone through all of these numbers. That's kind of what
I've
getting at.
moved numbers around. Yes, correct. I've gone through them. I've moved numbers around, to try to balance the budget, or I've removed certain wish list items out of the budget, just to get us closer to a balanced budget.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Along those same lines, I have an overall question. Ms. Hall, I don't even know, and I'm not trying to throw you under the bus here, I promise. But in the 2020 original budget, when we were discussing the 2020 budget, the prior finance director, I think he was even an interim, I'm not sure. Anyhow, irrelevant. He had pointed out to us that there was $84,000 that was, I don't know. It was a mystery. There was an $84,000 mystery in the budget. Do you know if that has been rectified?
When Rick was here in January, there was additional revenue that came in for income taxes, and I believe that money was used to offset that difference. So we've been balancing on the monthly statements because he was able to find additional revenue to balance that out.
That is awesome news. Thank you.
Okay, and I'm not flipping between the two right quick. So moving down, let's see here. We are off of uniforms, ammunition, communications maintenance. Does anybody have any questions with contractual services or any of those in general?
Is the new police software in one of those line items?
See, I'm trying to figure out if it's in that one or.
Police software is actually budgeted in the police levy for 2021.
Cool, thank you.
So, but under this one, it says computer software at 3,500. Okay, it's probably like the yearly maintenance, I would say. And then cool.
I do have one question, as we appear to budget 60,000 for dispatch fees and pay way more than that, and we've already exceeded that.
Did we this year?
Yeah, we're already at 61,341 projected for this year. And we're budgeted for 60 again for next year.
We need Mr. Wallet here to keep spouting out that.
521-7171. Dang, we did.
My office did receive something from the auditor a few weeks ago regarding the dispatch fees. They were taking a survey. So my understanding is that they're not going to increase the contract, but I can circle back with you all on that just to get a more clear answer to you on that.
Thank you. I thought, and again, what happened is that we had changed this last year because the dispatch fees went considerably down, but did we put it? Miscellaneous streets in your police. Oh.
As you go down through the rest of that, is there anything else here that jumps out at anybody?
Not it.
Yeah, I mean, overall, we're looking at a lower budget over what was budgeted for this year.
We are, but we are looking at.
That's including a reduction in the salary lines due to the 4%
Right.
increase. So that is still working itself out right now.
So one thing though that I do feel that is very, very, very important, and maybe it's just me, is under training and education. Did we zero out the training? Was that a call that Chief Strand made to zero it out completely, or is some of that in the levy? From the levy, I don't think that. I think with everything happening right now, training and for certain situations is always necessary. And no. So
I am
there
not
is
sure whose call that was. I can circle back with him to see if he intended for there to be any training in 2021. Because there's nothing budgeted in the police levy as well for training.
Right, that's what I just went through. Sorry, yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree. That's a little concerning that it's not included in the budget for 2021.
Very concerning in my humble opinion. I think there's always more continuing education people can do. But that's often, as you will learn, Miss Anderson, one of the first things that gets nixed is training when budgets get tight. So
And that's not just for government. That's for real world too.
true. All right. So other than that, I don't have anything else. Do you guys have anything else for police, or do you want to move forward?
Carry on.
Move on to
Cool,
fire.
let's go with fire. So we are going to skip the salaries here too, as those are kind of still up in the air at the moment. So we are going to go to dispatch fees, contractual services. So are those moved to the levy? Ms. Hall, I feel like I was told at one point in time that police and fire split dispatch fees because they come into the same place or something.
So fire's dispatch fees are allocated to the Fund 211. That's where you'll find their budget. As far as them splitting it,
Okay.
I don't know the details of that contract that they have with the county on that.
Okay, so cool. I will flag that real quick. Cool. So in fire. Think equipment repair and maintenance. The fire hydrants got, oh well, never mind. Dispatch fees. Building repairs and
We moved as
maintenance.
much
Hydrant.
as we could off of the general fund. So the hydrant repairs and a lot of the supplies and materials, you'll find those in Fund 211.
Awesome. Cool. I have no questions or concerns about fire. Personally speaking, he always runs a really tight ship and close to budget as possible. I mean, he's pretty much on it. So
Yeah, and if most of it's moved to 211 anyway, there's not really any point in staying here.
I have a quick question, at least on the electronic form that I have. There's a number out at 21,736. It's like out in column R, like on an island. Is that out there for a reason? On the, it's on line 101.102.521 police and fire pension.
let's see if that is in the.
That doesn't have anything to do with the budget. It could have been just something I was looking into at the time and making a random calculation.
All righty, cool.
Yep.
Just checking. Thanks.
All right, we ready to move on to 101.301 recreation?
Let's do it.
All right. Yep. Sorry, I'm here. So currently what we have on the table is moving the recreation director position to voluntary for now, as there is no recreation in the city of North College Hill currently.
You can't create a position. You need to zero it out if that's your intentions.
I'm sorry, do we have the authority to do that?
We have the authority to set it as, we have the authority to, it's not to create a position, no, but we have the authority to zero out that line item.
Just keep in mind that on your salary ordinance, you have it as a position. So before you pass that, you may want to consider changing it.
It's a position with $0 in the salary.
The title says voluntary position. If you leave it as Ms. Hall, if you leave it as recreation director and then not funded, but on that document, it says voluntary position.
It does
Sorry,
say
I have a question. I thought that we only zeroed that out because of COVID. Are we zeroing that out for next year for some other reason?
We did initially zero it out after talking to Mr. Moore because there were no activities taking place at the time because of COVID, and we didn't find that it was wise to pay him, and we weren't having any activities whatsoever.
And then next year is really up in the air too. I mean, especially now, over like the last week, we've started spiking again. Like, I don't know. I have a problem with we're really, 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 really tight in areas. And I feel like that right now there is no recreation to be directed. You know, I mean, I would love to have it. Absolutely. Like, I would love to have a robust program and great parks, but it's just not what we have right now.
Well, I think that maybe we could have that that's not a lot that we're paying whoever the person is. I don't know the gentleman who has this position currently or who will have the position. I don't know. All I'm saying is that, you know, if we want something like that, I mean, shouldn't we, and is it really up to us to determine, you know, I feel like we're okay. You know what? I'm gonna I'm gonna mute myself.
I think I see where you're kind of going. Like, is it worth taking it off the table if we're just worried about these next few months or the beginning of the year? You don't want to take it off the entire table? Is that what you're kind of saying?
Right. Here's what I will say to my colleagues. I think that position is important, especially if my colleagues are interested in some kind of tax levy for recreation. There, you know, I mean,
can't
because
zero it out. I'm sorry, Ms. Underwood. You can't zero it out, not fund the position at all, and then say we want great parks, we want activities for the city. There has to be something or some type of initiation to show that this is something that's wanted, it's needed.
And here's the other thing. Remember when we were in our other committee meeting and we were kind of talking about creative ways that we can have activities for the city? You know, could we maybe talk to the mayor, who can then talk to this gentleman to say, hey, you know, can you come up with some creative ways to have activities for our city? I mean,
Yeah, there are lots of, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're fine.
I'm in early child education. I mean, I'm still in school right now, but there are lots of different schools and different teachers and different communities and that are coming up with cool different stuff. And I don't think, I mean, especially right now, because we can't do normal stuff, I think it's especially important that we do figure out creative ways to provide stuff for recreation in the community. So I definitely don't think that this should be zeroed out, but I do think that that's something that we need to talk to whoever is in charge. Like, the fact that we don't even know who we're talking about right now is kind of concerning. So I think we should.
We do
I
know.
Hang on. Oh, slow down. We're supposed to fund the position, not fund the person.
Right,
So we
that's
can
what I
just
was
stop that whole
say.
conversation right
Exactly.
there.
Marjorie,
It's
Marjorie.
the position, not the person. And
Right.
Ms. Anderson, to your point, I did meet with someone who is very interested. She also works in the school as well, so she's working on some things. I even gave her the information for Mr. Greg Moore, who is the recreation director, and to hook up with him. I myself plan to have a meeting with him to see what his plans and his intentions are for the upcoming year. So I don't think that it should be a voluntary position. Mr. Moore understands that there's nothing going on right now. He's not expecting to be paid because of COVID, but we are working on ideas for the upcoming year. So.
Outside of seeing those ideas and those plans, I would be struggling to put money in that position.
I would as well, just because we're looking at trying to scrape up funds to make sure that we have legal representation, adequate legal representation.
If we want somebody to be creative and create these kinds of programs and kind of make sure that these kinds of programs happen, you know, maybe we can ask city administration to make that happen for us. I don't struggle with that position because I just see the things that Mount Healthy is doing. I see the things that Springfield Township are doing, and they're, you know, and I see the things that College Hill are doing, and they're right. Like, those are the people who surround us. Like, you know, there's a, just as an example, and again, I don't mean to get into the weeds, but you know, you can have like virtual things. You can have things in the parking lot. I don't think that we should be zeroing out the position unless you just want to do away. I don't know. That's my 2 cents. Obviously, you know, the way that this works is, you know, majority rules, but that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, sorry. That's what I was kind of trying to get at too, with just making sure that there is a position and that there are things that can be done and that we're not losing hope.
But without the plan, what are we throwing money at?
So besides that, I'm sorry, go ahead, Mr. Miller.
Yeah, no, I mean, I have mixed emotions. I mean, I know we all want recreation, but we just never seem to have the money for it. And for me, it's always, like having a goal, which is too much bread and never enough butter. And it's just like we're not. It's just like what do? We do these like 3 events, and I think the thing you have to ask is, by having trunk or treat or 3 or 4 events throughout the year, what lasting impact does it have? I mean, it's one thing to maintain your parks. It's another thing to try to write grants to get playground equipment. It's another thing to spend money you don't have, having 4 events that really have no lasting impact. I mean, that I can foresee. And normally it's like one thing for me to want to let that go or to be supportive of it because there's at least some goodwill in it. But this year, I don't think it's up in the air at all. I mean, we're going into fall, numbers are getting worse. Everything I've ever seen by everybody's like, a doctor as opposed to Steve, that dude down the street on Facebook, seems to be pretty positive that it's going to be a long time before COVID's kind of like gone. I mean, I say like June of 22 on and stuff like that on average. So, I mean, 21, I don't think it's up in the air. 21's a bust. We're not going to have, a big park event. We're not going to have shoulder to shoulder. We're not going to have a car show. I mean, this stuff's not going to happen in 2021. I mean, so do we really want to just put money aside that we could use for other things when we have no plan, nobody to do it, and we don't even have a world where it's going to be that possible? I don't see it this year. I just don't.
Mr. President, I would like to say that I think in this conversation, we are talking about 2 different things. I'm talking about a position, and my sentiment is the same as Ms. Anderson and Ms. Underwood with zeroing out that dollar amount, but I'm talking about the way that the position is as voluntary, not just leaving it as what it is and zeroing out the salary.
Well, for me, it's about moving the money. For me, it's about not necessarily losing the position. For me, it's about trying to figure out where that $11,745 is going to help us the most, if that makes sense. Like, I would put $1 in there just as a place marker, but I just want to move the money.
And Ms. Bailey, I want to be perfectly clear in something that you stated. We cannot get rid of the position because that position is stated in the charter.
Right. Yeah.
But
yeah,
the charter, I'm setting the stage for everyone and just in case. So the position cannot be deleted. The position is there. The charter does not state that it has to be a paid position. It just states that it has to be a position.
So we know we have a position that we have to have. I've heard some concern around, I believe, having the term voluntary on the other sheet versus just having the position in there as the rec director with $0 to it. And did I summarize this? It has to be there. There's some concern around calling it voluntary versus just having it there with 0.
Basically,
yes,
I think, okay.
That was my concern.
Okay.
But Ms. Nichols, you're referring to the salary ordinance, right? Not to this.
I am.
Not to the budget that we're talking about. Okay.
I am.
So
all right.
it would make you feel better to see if it would make you feel better if the salary ordinance just said 0.
I would
not voluntary.
I would like for it not to say voluntary. I would like for it to say recreation director. If you choose to fund it, then you put whatever dollar amount you so choose to. If you choose not to, you zero it out. Or put $1.
Yeah, but that's not really the subject of tonight's executive session.
It's not.
Can we We'll
It's not,
address,
but
we'll talk about that in the council
but if
meeting.
that dollar amount is in there, it's still relevant.
I gotcha.
Okay, so do we want to take a proposed 2021 budget for recreation and put in zeros for salary? Recreate, or are we taking it to 0 for 2021?
That is what I think, yes.
Okay. So
Do we vote on
then-
that, or do we, or you guys are just making that decision? How, I mean, how's this working?
No,
I don't
we
understand this.
can't vote. We
You
can't
get a
vote.
feel for the crowd.
Yep, you kind of see what kind of direction we're looking at. No decisions like that can be made at all tonight. It's just seeing where we are basically, because by this yeah. Either we zero it out or we leave it in there. I mean, again, the way I feel about it is $11,745 is a good amount of money to put towards something else that we're looking at potentially decreasing our police department funding by how much? Ms. Hall, do you have that one offhand? I mean, we know our fire department's going to be struggling. Tax is struggling. I mean,
5-minute warning.
All right, let's move on.
Sorry,
Let's try to get through this
180,000.
page.
I was still muted, sorry.
I'm sorry, Miss Hall, I talked over you. What was that number?
It's approximately 180,000
Thank you.
decrease. Mhm.
okay. So I believe we probably won't have a car show this upcoming year. And I
Is that,
don't
is that up
know.
to us, or is that up to administration?
Depends how you look at it. I mean,
That's the lawyer answer. I
budget-wise,
love that, Matt.
sorry, budget-wise, it's up to us, but I mean, whether or not we fund it, I mean, it's technically, in a sense, up to them in terms of how they run it. It's funded, but I don't know. I mean, it doesn't seem, who knows? I mean, it's obviously, what month is it now? October, so it's 11 months away. But
Can I just
no.
add another aspect to the car show? So even if we would fund this for the $3,000, typically the car show earns that $3,000 back. So it's really just like front money for him to get his supplies, and then he gives that revenue back to the city. It's usually just a wash.
Right.
At the risk of saying front money, because that sounds shady, but I don't know how else to call it. Sorry.
Right. And then, yeah, gas and electric even. Okay.
Might I suggest, are we going to, I personally feel like we could leave that money there and it wouldn't matter. Either we're going to use it and get it back, or we're not going to use it and still have it to move it around later on.
Later on.
That's
Yeah,
kind of
I'm
how
with
I feel about it.
I'm with you on the car show because yeah, it breaks even every single year. So I say leave it. And then in 11 months, if we don't have it, then we move it.
So here's my next point. If nobody else has anything to say about this page, we're at our time limit and we're at a good stopping point, unless somebody has any kind of disagreement with that. I know it's your meeting, Miss Bailey, but kind of took that over. Sorry.
I don't have any more questions or concerns. I mean, but of course I'm just one person, so.
I don't hear anybody else. So I'm going to make a motion that we end our meeting. We
Well,
adjourn our meeting.
hold on, while we're here, when can we have a second committee of the whole, like an idea right quick?
There are 5 Mondays in November.
The deadline to get this done is,
I don't know if the 30th is too late.
let's do. I will gladly relinquish, not gladly, City and Community Development and Recreation will give up its meeting time if you guys want to have a committee of the whole the second Monday.
To the 9th, November 9th.
Yeah, that works for me.
11/9. So if we move it out on the 9th, does that give us 3 readings before January 1 though?
Might I suggest that we even put on the calendar the 10th, just in case,
I was just
Because-
about to suggest that too.
just so that we get through it. Can anyone make 11/9 and 11/10? Can anyone
I can-
cannot make 11/9 and 11/10?
What times are we talking about starting?
11/9 would be 6:30 to 7:30, correct?
Or-
Yes.
Okay.
Well, 6:32 eventually because finance would give up its time too. So
6:30 to 8:30 on 11/9.
yes, ma'am.
Mr.
Can we
Miller
shoot-
Novak, are
can-
you able to come on that day at that time?
I mean, 6:30 is always tough. Just, I could be a little late like I was today. If everybody's forgiving of that, then yes.
Would that be the same for 11/10 then, sir?
Would it help if we split the difference and said 6:45?
Yes.
Is anyone in disagreement with that?
No, that would help me too.
Was that
Are
the
we-
9th?
Sorry, are we still making the ending time 8:30 though, or 8:45?
Be 2 hours.
Okay, cool.
Was that for both days?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Ms. Bailey, can you do this? 11/9, 11/10, 6:45 to 8:45?
Yep.
Ms. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Miller Novak, you good with both days? Mr. Miller Novak?
Okay, sorry about that. Yes, I am. I was like hitting the button, my static electricity or something wasn't working.
Mrs. Orb, can you go with both days?
I can't, sir. Thank you.
Ms. Hartman?
As of now, yes.
And then, right quick, Ms. Hall, we have to get this to the auditor too. What is our drop dead date is what I like to call it, to have our 2021 budget together, all of it to the auditor.
My understanding is that there was like a February or March deadline. When I started working here, I came in right after that deadline.
That was because we passed a temporary 3-month budget because,
Yeah.
yeah, This year will be our first year, hopefully, fingers crossed, that we do not have to write a temporary budget for the first 3 months of the year.
I'll find out what the deadline is and get it
Awesome.
to you.
Yeah,
Thank-
just email that to us, Ms. Hall, please. And confirming, Ms. Anderson, you're good with both those dates, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll set up committee of the whole meetings for 11/9 and 11/10. If we were to get it all done on 11/9, we wouldn't need 11/10.
Right. And I will second Ms. Zorb's motion to adjourn.
All right, motion for Ms. Zorb to adjourn this meeting, second by Ms. Bailey. I'll call the roll.
Mr. Graver, you did take note of where we ended, right?
Yes, I'm sorry. So yeah, we ended at, we completed 101.301 rec, so we will start at 101.401 -402 code and building enforcement. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
No, thank you. All right, Ms. Bailey,
Yes.
Ms. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Miller Novak,
Yes.
Ms. Zorb,
Yes.
Ms. Hartman,
Yes.
and Ms. Anderson.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone. This meeting's adjourned.